Hi there, my name is Derek Soltis. I want to talk to you about 11 different ways you can avoid having your home foreclosed upon. The first thing is, if you know you're going to start becoming late on your payments, ask for a forbearance. A forbearance is just going to your bank and saying, hey, can I skip a few payments? We'll talk about getting caught up later in the future. Right now, a lot of Americans throughout the United States, because of COVID, basically ask for up to an 18-month forbearance in payments. The government's putting together a plan of how people are going to pay these back. It's not like at the end of it you're going to go, oh no, I have a lump sum of 18 payments that have to be done. They're talking about specific ways going forward of how people are going to have to do that. If you need help with that, talk to us. Another thing a lot of people can do is refinance. This is before you get in trouble with the banks. You go to another bank and say, I want to pay off my loan. You basically go to that bank, you take out a loan from them. This is great if, let's say, you have a 7% interest rate and now you can get a 3% interest rate. You may actually see your payments going down. These are one of those things you have to be proactive. Refinancing and loan modification sound a lot like the same thing, but in a loan modification, you're asking your same bank to modify the terms of your current loan. So at times this does work for banks where they're able to take out, like, they're able to recapitalize whatever you're behind on your loan, perhaps give you a lower interest rate. There are different things that can be done in a loan modification. And if you've tried for a loan modification in the past and it's failed, bring it to us. Let us review it, see what could have gone wrong. Sometimes it's as silly as the person you send the docs into didn't see some of the docs you sent in, or they said the docs were late coming in. So other times people just don't qualify for a loan mod. That's why we offer to review these for free, because if you basically paid somebody to do a loan mod for you and they gave you bad advice like stop making your home payments, that's a horrible idea. Or if they tell you, we're going to be able to get this for you, just give us like $5,000. Well, a lot of places can't accept money up front. Attorneys can. However, there are these scams all over the country where they basically get people to send them money and then they never do the work. So basically, let's go over the three we got there. Ask for forbearance, refinance, loan mod. Another thing you can, if you basically get to the point where you're actually going to court and you have to file an answer, this is where you really need to talk to an attorney to make sure everything was filed correctly against you. There are federal and state laws that basically the courts have to follow before they can evict you, or not evict you, before they can foreclose on you, and also before they can even evict you if it gets to that point. And if you answer if you basically get your summons complaint and you answer it incorrectly, you may be waiving some of your actual rights. There's the possibility if, let's say your mortgage is like haven't paid in over 6 years, there's always the possibility of the free home defense at this point. There are other ones where basically the banks are going to have to start from scratch and go back over and do everything again if they didn't serve you correctly. So you can also, if you're in the situation where the bank is foreclosing on you, you've got different options also. There's always doing a loss mitigation application. Loss mitigation is asking your bank to modify the terms of your loan, or if, let's say you're like 3 months behind, you can ask for a repayment plan where you're going to repay those 3 months over time, and the bank will stop the foreclosure if you get current. Doesn't always work for everyone. Some people get so far behind that they're not going to be able to keep the house. At which point, let's say you're like $200,000 like underwater on your home. There's a possibility at that point of a short sale. A short sale is when you sell your house to somebody else to avoid the foreclosure. Well, some people think they're in the position where they need to do a short sale, but in the truth of the matter is they could actually sell their house and take out money. About 2 years ago, we had a lady come to us. She basically thought she had to do a short sale. We looked at her property and said, you're about $130,000 above water now because your house has gone up in value so much. So at the end of it, she was able to sell her house on the open market, take over $120,000 in cash in her pocket when she thought she was going to have to do a deed-in-lieu to the bank. I'll get to that part in a second. So she sold her house, took the money, moved to Georgia, bought a condo, had money left over, and she thought she was going to have to give up her house. So she came to us wanting to do a short sale, and if she couldn't do the short sale, she wanted to do a deed-in-lieu of foreclosure. A deed-in-lieu of foreclosure is when you just sign over the deed to the bank. If the bank is ever offering you this opportunity, odds are there's money in there that you could probably take home with you. There's always the possibility in a deed-in-lieu to ask for assistance to move. So even to get to the point where you're totally foreclosed on, the house has been sold at a sheriff's sale, there's always the possibility to ask for the new current owner to give you money to move out instead of going through the full eviction or ejectment process. So let's see, we've got the defend yourself in court. You could even ask your bank for debt forgiveness. That's really unlikely to happen. But at one time, that was a possibility, especially if the bank screws up the paperwork and they realize it may be just easier to basically give you a balloon payment at the end of your mortgage so that in like 30 years from now, you're going to have to deal with this excess money that you don't want to fight about now, or they may just write some of it off. You can refinance with another bank. You have your forbearance. You could ask for your bank for the loss mitigation options, or then you have the loan modification. You can ask for the repayment plan of just whatever you're behind. You can ask for a short payoff. That's kind of like the short sale, but in a short payoff, you're the person who comes up with the money to like pretty much buy out the loan from the bank. This does happen on occasion where, let's say you have a rich uncle or an aunt or something, and they're going to give you a loan to pay everything off, at which point they will come in and pay it off for you, but for less money. There was the Deed-in-lieu of Foreclosure, but if you're getting that option, odds are there's money there left over that you should be able to go after. And then the last option that we don't like putting people in is bankruptcy. In a bankruptcy, whatever money you owe the bank, you can pay back over a 3 to 5 year period. So let's say you owe $60,000, you'd have to continue to pay your normal mortgage, plus you'd have to pay that $60,000 divided over a 60-month period. So that works out to be $1,000 a month. However, the bankruptcy trustee takes 10% on top of that, so you'd end up having to pay your mortgage plus $1,100. If you are behind on it and you want to know the exact numbers that would work out for your specific case, give us a call. We can run the math. We just throw it in a calculator. It works it out. There's also, if you have too much equity in your house, and you wanted to do a Chapter 13 bankruptcy, you may have to pay some of your additional bills on top of that. Like normally, if you file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, that wipes out all your debt except for secured debt like your house and your car. But a Chapter 7, if you are underwater on your house, it's not likely a Chapter 7 trustee would try and sell your house, but there have been cases where the trustees have done this, where they'll ask for a carve out from the bank. This is usually in the case where somebody's been like messing with the bank for years on end, and the bank just wants to be done with it. They'll let the trustee do a carve out, so the trustee gets paid, some of your other creditors get paid, and the bank takes a little bit less money, but they're able to move on quicker. So if you have any questions about your current situation, whether it's in New York or New Jersey, we have attorneys that can help you. We do this all the time. We help people save their homes. So if you're looking at a loan modification, you think you're going to have to lose your house, give us a call. We'll walk you through the different things. Even if you're in like a tax lien foreclosure, those are different than a mortgage foreclosure. We can walk you through your options there. There are different problems that come up. I'll save that for a different video. But anyways, we've got multiple attorneys here that can help you. Doesn't matter, New Jersey or New York, this is where we operate. We've saved lots of houses for people, and people that have like given up on like even keeping their house, we found ways for them to make money on their situation. So thank you for your time.